What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. So we had a couple of warm days here, a little bit of a tease, but spring is around the corner and I just can't wait until I can start doing more stuff outside. I love being outside. Being cooped up inside is just no bueno for me. But working on the old Silverado here. I'm gonna pull some parts off of this thing. I'm surprised this thing didn't roll away. It's pretty much freewheeling the chassis right now. So what I want to do is jack it up and spin. I want to try to spin the axles. I don't know how fast I can spin it, but I want to see if I have a straight axle on this thing that I can take, because I think I have a bent axle on the Avalanche and I want to try to use one of these axles, which should be the same. So I got to pull apart the rear diff. So I think I'm going to try to push this thing forward off the grass and you know, get it up, jacked up in the back, and then hopefully that's funny, I forgot I welded those brackets on there for that. Anyway, I'm just gonna try to get this axle torn apart. It's so cold right now. I'm gonna put a jacket on. It was warm and now it's freezing, so unfortunately that's the way it goes. Looks like I got a wheel chock right over here. That's not really doing too much for the bus. Okay, so we'll see if I can move this thing forward. I don't know if I can push it myself. Let's see. I'll see you guys on here. Alright, so definitely like the shadiest thing I've ever done. This jack is like hanging off the edge here, sitting in the grass. I think I want to get a different tripod, or I may start using the head cam more. I feel like you guys just can't ever see anything because I can never find a good spot for the GoPro. I should be able to put it on something. And my old tripod was like a flexible one that I could put on, and that was nice because I could wrap it around stuff. But that one broke a while ago. I could probably get this one with the impact. There we go. Now the challenge is getting it off. Not the proper tool for the job, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just say, but it will work. If I don't smash my knuckle first. It's like working at the junkyard, you know, you gotta use what you got. It certainly makes a lot of noise, but I can't really see it while I'm spinning it. I'd have to have somebody look at it. Oh well. It is what it is. I think I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side, so at least it's ready to come apart, and then I'll put it back down, pull the pan, drain the fluid, and try to actually get the axles out of it, or get it to a point where I can. Alright, so we got the helmet cam on. Let's see. Show you guys what it's like to take off these huge spikes with a chrome socket on an impact. So that's what they give you for a tool with these. I'm not doing it by hand, I'll tell you that. Anyway, find somewhere for these big tires. I was just looking at these tires and how choppy they are on here. I don't know. They were like that, I think, when I put them on, but they're definitely got some chop to them. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't like it. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's my noise. Like, I wonder if the noise I hear is just tires. Yeah, I'm just gonna start tearing into it because I know I'm gonna take this apart. These Detroit axle brakes didn't really last that long. They're almost done. Yeah, so I'm just gonna get to work pulling stuff apart here. I'm gonna figure while I'm in here and before I forget, knock a bunch of stuff over. And I got a cut where I'm rubbing here with the tire. Ever since I took the spacers out, this thing's been rubbing like crazy. All in this area here. And we find ourselves the same sort of problem over here. Although I'm less inclined to wreck something since this is not the junk truck. I think we're loose now. Over the lip on the rotor anyway. Alright. Here's our Detroit axle stuff. Barely hanging in there. This thing needs rear brakes soon. Holy crap. Yeah, that's fun. Nice. Good to know. Already wore through those brakes. So if you guys are looking for a tip, I don't know if you guys watch this for, tips or not, but always bungee your calipers. That way, this guy really has nowhere that he can go. You can't pull on your brake hose, and he's nice and out of the way. So now we can do what we need to do over here. The shoes look pretty good on here. Actually, never mind. We're missing that whole shoe. So I lied. They don't look very good. Yeah, we're missing this whole side. That's cool. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think this surface has been, rode on at all. It looks like it might have been on a little bit. I don't know if it was like rubbing there. So I got all my fancy Harbor Freight equipment set up here. I figured I'd show you guys. I wanted to just check the backlash because I do have some gear noise, and I, just want to know, is it from, gear whine, or is it from the bearings, or what? And I think there's definitely a bearing that's on its way out. I don't know if it's the pinion bearing or one of the carrier bearings, but hopefully I can find out once I get this thing all taken apart. I want to find a failed component. I really do. It's just part of why I'm in here. But also, other stuff like putting in my nice new used diff that I already had in my other truck. But yeah, I have this Harbor Freight set up here. I just wanted to show you guys. I do have what I think to be about 10 thousandths, which I thought it was maybe a little bit more, like 12. But in reality, looks like about 10. So that's fine for the mileage. I think that's okay. I would set it up a little tighter if it was me, but not the end of the world. And at times when I go kind of hard, it can look like 10 or 11 maybe, but I think it's probably 10 or 11, and that's just because of the mileage, so it's not the end of the world. I'm going to take the rest of this thing apart and take this thing off. Pretty cool tool to have. Harbor Freight dial indicator. So anyway, I'm going to take the rest of these. I'm going to take this thing apart, but I do have to take it out of park to spin it so that I can get to the other side of this, so I can pull I think it's an 8mm out of there, and then I'll be able to pull the rest of the stuff apart and pull the axles out. So now we gotta get the pins out. So I already took the 8mm out, and then I used a magnet to get that little center block out of there. And now we gotta send the axles in far enough so that we can get the C-clips out. So I just like to give her a nice bash. And you see it kind of leave the hammer in, and it sucks in. And you see we can access our C-clips, which I'm going to try to spin with this, and then hopefully remove with this magnet. Although it doesn't really want to stick to the magnet. I think I need my small magnet. I don't know where that is. Look at that, I didn't even have to look. That's how you do it. Same sort of thing going on. No major groovage though. The axle bearings are probably fine, to be honest. Probably fine. Now these are a couple of, I don't know, 15s maybe. See if I can hit those with that. So I think a good amount of progress is made. Got the whole diff apart, axles are out. I took this seal off already. The axle bearings seem fine. I don't think that's the issue. The carrier bearings seem fine. All that stuff, everything seems fine. I think the noise is probably just ring and pinion. I'm hoping that it goes away when I put it all back together. I don't even know if I'm going to mess with the pinion bearing, unless, I don't know. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. I'm not really sure on that, but I really want to fix this noise. I don't know what it is. I can always do, the pinion bearing is hard to do if I put it all back together. You know, the pinion seal is not, but I have to do the seal if I'm doing the bearing. Whatever, I'm too tired. Oh God, it's getting pretty bad. Anyway, I'm happy with the progress we made tonight. I just got to take the ring gear and swap it onto the Truetrac. I took that out of storage, so this guy's ready to go in. I love the design of this thing. It's so much beefier than that, and it's just a lot nicer of a setup. You can tell when I take the ring gear off, we'll compare them. But yeah, then I got the new carrier bearings in there. They're way newer than these, so those will be different. Axle bearings, I might just leave them. I don't know if it's worth the hassle. I do have new ones to put in, but they're just not bad, I don't think. So if they're not bad, why bother? The axles are a little bit grooved where the seals were riding. I think I talked about that already, but we'll see if that, you know, it's not that bad. So I'm gonna have to probably trim up some of this footage and empty the SD card. It's getting full, but these guys, reverse thread. Last time I went to take this apart, I forgot about that, so I totally was just tightening them, which was really dumb. I'm glad I didn't snap one of them. I was just being stupid. But anyway, yeah, these are reverse threads, so you're gonna go lefty tighty and righty loosey. Okay, so gotta do that for these guys, and we're gonna swap this ring gear onto here. I do think that I have a slight ring and pinion bad wear pattern causing that gear whine. That's what I was talking about with my dad. He was looking at it with me. But I think hopefully putting this diff in there should slightly change the spacing. The backlash was, I showed you guys, right around 10, I think, which is just, you know, barely out of spec. I mean, it's like 6 to 9 is like the range, I think. So 10 is like just out of range, which is expected for something of this mileage, 200,000 miles. You know, it's a lot of miles. It's going to be a bit worn. So, but the carrier bearings seem good. So all I'm going to do is swap the ring gear over, and we'll check the back spacing again once I get it in there using the stock shims, and we'll see. And as long as it's decent, I'm probably just going to send it, and I don't know, just live with it. Who cares, you know, just turn off the radio, stop whining. So I think I'm going to cap this video off here, guys. It's probably getting pretty long at this point. I'll make a part 2 where I talk about the axle and that setup. But I got the backlash all dialed in on the back. I took those washers and flipped them, like I said, the shims for the rear diff, and then I got the backlash down to like 8 thousandths. So I'm pumped about that. My latest thing is seeing if I have a bent axle here, which it's looking like I do. I was just spinning this over, I zeroed it out, and it looks like I have possibly around 13 thousandths of run out on this axle, which is definitely too much. So to see that, I know that I have at least one bent axle. I'm sure the other side is going to be bent worse. That's my theory. So I'm going to take a look at that now. I'm going to swap all the axles in and out of the same side and run this same test on them. And hopefully I can find out if I have a bent axle. And I hope that I don't, but it seems as though I might. So I'm going to have to figure that out. And yeah, that's that. So thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for part 2 where we see if I have a bent axle or possibly 4 bent axles, which I think is going to be the case. I think the 2-inch wheel spacers are just too much for these vehicles. The axles can't handle it. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't, when there's back spacing on larger wheels, I think it's not as bad, but when you throw all the leverage point way out far with a spacer, I think it's just too much. So we're going to see what the run out is. As long as I take the lightest 2, or the ones that are the least bent, I think I'll be satisfied with the vibration, because I think it's pretty okay right now without the wheel spacers. So if I can get 2 decent ones, I think it'll minimize vibration and tire wear in the back, and I should be fine. I'm going to leave the bearings alone because they don't look shot. They're not bent that much, like, I don't know, 13 thousandths isn't bad. The spec's 5 thousandths, but I doubt you'd even feel anything up to like 8 or 9. I think 13, you might start to feel that. And the other side we're going to check. So I'm going to throw the other side in there, do a run out test, but I'm dragging this video out anymore. That'll be in the next video, so if you guys want to see that, stay tuned and I'll show you guys if we have bent axles. Peace out.